Who's the most playful?
Of all of my sisters?
Yes.
You know, we lost one of our sisters.
Yes,
we lost Traci.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I was a little sad. It was the first holiday without her, but you know what? She's here with us in spirit, so we're going to be okay. Yeah.
Toni Braxton's life story represents one of the most complex narratives in modern music history. A tale of extraordinary talent, industry exploitation, and the heavy burdens of family responsibility. The 6-time Grammy Award winner's path from gospel choir to international superstardom reveals the hidden costs of success when combined with contractual pitfalls and familial obligations. This deep examination explores how Braxton navigated the music business while simultaneously serving as her family's primary financial support, ultimately facing bankruptcy twice, despite selling millions of records worldwide. Born on October 7th, 1967, in Severn, Maryland, Toni Michelle Braxton entered the world as the eldest of 6 children in a deeply religious household. Her father, Michael Braxton Sr., worked as a Methodist clergyman, while her mother, Evelyn, managed their growing family. The Braxton household operated under strict conservative values, where music served as both spiritual expression and potential economic lifeline. The family dynamic shifted dramatically when Toni was just 13 years old. Her mother suffered a severe accident that required extended hospitalization, forcing young Toni to assume adult responsibilities overnight. She became the primary caretaker for her 5 younger siblings, Traci, Towanda, Trina, Tamar, and Michael Jr., cooking meals, helping with schoolwork, and maintaining household order, while her father worked multiple jobs to keep the family afloat. This early experience of surrogate parenting would establish behavioral patterns that persisted throughout Braxton's professional career. Evelyn Braxton, recognizing her daughter's musical talents, formed them into a gospel group called the Braxtons during the late 1980s. The sisters performed at local churches and events, with Toni's distinctive contralto voice naturally taking lead vocals. Their big break came in 1989 when a demo tape reached producers Antonio L.A. Reed and Kenneth "Babyface" Edmonds through a fortuitous industry connection. The producers recognized something extraordinary in Toni's voice, a smoky, emotive quality that blended vulnerability with undeniable power. They offered her a solo recording contract with Arista Records, separating her professionally from her sisters for the first time. This decision created immediate tension within the family unit, as the other Braxton sisters had expected to continue performing together. Toni later revealed in interviews that her sister Traci's comment, "When you make it, you can help us come up," became an unspoken contract that would govern her financial decisions for decades.
So Traci was probably the most playful. She was the most playful. You know, we had to show Braxton family values, so we're all an animated bunch. So we all come together, and that's why holidays are such a big deal for us.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Meticulous rise to stardom, 9 Toni Braxton's 1993 self-titled debut album launched her into the stratosphere of R&B royalty. The record sold over 10 million copies worldwide, fueled by smash hits like "Breathe Again" and "Another Sad Love Song." Her sophisticated blend of soul, pop, and adult contemporary styles appealed to broad demographics, making her one of the most bankable new artists of the decade. Her 1996 follow-up, "Secrets," cemented her superstar status. The Diane Warren-penned ballad, "Unbreak My Heart," became a cultural phenomenon, spending 11 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and eventually selling over 10 million copies as a single. The album's success earned Braxton 2 Grammy Awards and established her as one of the defining voices of 1990s R&B. Despite these extraordinary commercial achievements, Braxton found herself in increasingly dire financial straits. The standard recording contract of the era heavily favored labels through several mechanisms. Artists were required to repay all production costs, including recording sessions, music videos, promotional tours, and even wardrobe expenses, before receiving royalties. These recoupable expenses were often inflated, while royalty rates remained shockingly low. Braxton's situation was particularly egregious. While her albums generated hundreds of millions for Arista Records, she revealed in court documents that she earned less than 35 cents per album sold. After accounting for all deducted expenses, she reported receiving less than $2,000 in royalties during certain periods, despite multi-platinum sales. This financial reality, combined with her obligations to support extended family members, created an unsustainable situation. At the absolute peak of her fame in January 1998,
Do you need a baker?
Well, I sing like her, you know, and she uses her hands. You know, she's a Toni Braxton owes her a check.
Toni Braxton filed for Chapter 7, bankruptcy protection. The news stunned the entertainment industry and her fan base. How could one of the world's best-selling musical artists be insolvent? The bankruptcy filings revealed the harsh mathematics of her situation. While her recordings had generated approximately $170 million for Arista Records, Braxton's actual earnings after all deductions amounted to a fraction of that sum. She was simultaneously supporting parents, siblings, and various extended family members who had come to rely on her success. Her appearance on The Oprah Winfrey Show to discuss the bankruptcy became a defining moment in Braxton's public narrative. Rather than receiving empathy for her industry struggles, she faced pointed questioning about her spending habits. The conversation infamously turned to rumors about Gucci flatware, which Winfrey used to imply fiscal irresponsibility. Braxton later described the experience as humiliating and counterproductive to her attempts to reform industry practices. While navigating these professional challenges, Braxton continued serving as the primary financial support for her parents and siblings. This created increasingly complex family dynamics that would eventually play out publicly on reality television. After her parents' divorce, Braxton assumed responsibility for her mother's living expenses and healthcare costs. Among her sisters, only Tamar occasionally contributed financially, while the others appeared to operate under the assumption that Toni's success meant she should cover family obligations. This inequity became a source of growing tension, particularly as Braxton's own financial situation became more precarious. The launch of Braxton Family Values in 2011 brought these conflicts into public view. Behind the scenes, the sisters engaged in heated arguments about financial contributions and expectations. Towanda and Trina reportedly demanded payment for their work as backup singers during Toni's tours and performances, while Tamar, who actually helped with family expenses, never requested compensation. These disparities created resentment that spilled over into their personal relationships. In 2008, Braxton received a life-altering medical diagnosis: systemic lupus erythematosus, a chronic autoimmune disease that causes the immune system to attack the body's own tissues.
When we were on the set of Marlon, Diallo Riddle, who also is my castmate and friend, we would just be geeking all day. I mean, you have no choice. It was the funnest set I've ever been on. And Marlon is up there geeking, and I'm up there.
The condition manifested in severe joint pain, debilitating fatigue, and occasional temporary paralysis. The health crisis came at the worst possible time professionally. Braxton had recently launched a lucrative Las Vegas residency that promised financial stability. As her lupus symptoms worsened, she was forced to cancel performances, triggering contractual penalties. When insurance refused to cover the cancellation costs, Braxton found herself personally liable for millions in production expenses. This perfect storm of medical and financial challenges led to her second bankruptcy filing in 2010. The Braxton Sisters reality show, while commercially successful, exacerbated existing tensions. The series highlighted the stark pay disparities between Toni, Tamar, and their sisters, which became a recurring source of conflict. Tamar's very public mental health struggles and accusations of family toxicity, including her decision to block Toni on social media. The ongoing feud between Towanda and Tamar, which reached points where they refused to communicate outside of filming obligations. These tensions came to a head during Season 7 production, when Toni reportedly walked off set after an especially heated argument about family finances and responsibilities. The incident led to a temporary shutdown of production and sparked widespread media speculation about the show's future. Mental health professionals analyzing Braxton's story identify clear patterns of parentification, a family dynamic where a child assumes adult responsibilities prematurely. The effects of this early role assignment often persist into adulthood, manifesting as difficulty, establishing healthy boundaries in relationships, a compulsive need to care for others at personal expense, physical health consequences from chronic stress. For Braxton, these patterns translated into decades of feeling responsible for her family's well-being while neglecting her own needs. Her lupus diagnosis and subsequent health struggles may have been exacerbated by this prolonged stress. In recent years, Braxton has demonstrated noticeable personal growth in this area. Through therapy and life experience, she's learned to set firmer boundaries with family members while maintaining important relationships. Her public statements reflect this evolution, emphasizing self-care alongside familial love. Toni Braxton faced bankruptcy despite selling 70 million albums due to unfair contracts. As family breadwinner, she supported parents and siblings while battling lupus. Her reality show exposed financial tensions with sisters. Through health and money struggles, she learned to set boundaries while maintaining family bonds.